Hiya folks, welcome to the Irish Whiskey Review with me, Marty McCauley, where you learn everything about whiskey, what I think about certain whiskies, and not just always Irish whiskey. We're going to move on and do other stuff at some point. But so I'm here to tell you what I think of certain whiskies. Now always remember folks, it's my opinion, not fact. Go and try stuff for yourself. But if you think my opinion is maybe something you want to listen to, or maybe just you see something you want to talk about or whatever, subscribe to the channel. Just hit the button below and subscribe. Everyone counts. Thank you. Now, tonight we are reviewing two stacks. Two stacks Irish whiskey. Two stacks is from Dundalk, and it's bonded and bottled by the Cologne Distillery in County Down. Distilled and matured at the Great Northern Distillery in County Louth. Tells you all on the bottle. Transparency, folks. Telling what you actually are getting. We do like this kind of thing. We do like knowing where it is, because it's easier for people to buy into the story when they know what it is they're getting. Two Stacks don't have a distillery. They don't want a distillery, from what I can gather. They want to be an independent bottler, getting their spirit from other sources, making up what they want to make, and sending it on. So, this is Two Stacks Irish Whiskey, the first cut complex blend. And quite complex it is. Now, it's 43%, non-chill filtered and no colouring. But when you get to the back of it, it gives you the list of what's in it. Now, it's a blended whiskey, so it's grain whiskey and malted, but it says on it it's 40% dark grain aged in virgin oak casks, 40% light grain aged in bourbon casks, 8% pot still aged in Oloroso sherry butts, 10% double malt aged in bourbon casks, and 2% peated malt aged in bourbon casks. Now, when they say complex, they're not joking. I think there's too much. Whenever you look at it, it's almost like, okay, we'll give it a go. We'll see how we're getting on. 43%. The colour is it's quite light because there's no colouring in it, which is good. Now, I've had this sitting out a little while. There's a cereal note, actually slightly reminiscent of corn, which is a little bit strange. It's got that corn sweetness, a little bit. It's pear, some fresh green fruit. So there's like fresh, almost green gauges, that fresh plum, but pear. There's the peated's coming in, and it's almost like a toasted cereal. I want to say it's like unsweetened popcorn, not fresh popcorn, but you know the stuff you get in a bag. That slight toasty note. The oak that's coming through at this point is quite green, and that'll be the virgin oak. The nose is interesting. Yep. Go for a wee sip. Fresh sweet orange. The wood's coming through again. The smoke makes a little appearance, and it almost gives it like a slightly toasted oak flavour to it. There's a little heat, a little spicy kick coming through there. That's probably coming from the virgin oak. Touch of caramel sweetness. If I'm honest, the sweetness, it's not as rounded and as balanced as some would have. Again, that little smoky note that came through. On the finish, again, touch of smoke, but it's kind of a little lost in there. You have, again, the pepper, spicy, that little bit of heat. The wood is coming through there. And the wood's a strange one because you want to say it's toasted wood note, but it's kind of toasted cereal note. And the wood's a strange one because it's almost fresh wood and a little bit toasted wood, toasted cereal. But it sets a little bit off apart for me. It's a little bit at opposite ends. There's a sugary sweetness that's not, it's not as rounded as you would possibly want. The sugary, it's kind of white grain sugar. It's really not punching over, and I think it's a little bit. I'm not exactly sure where the sherry's coming through on this. I think if they'd left the sherry out and up the peat, it would probably have been, dominated a bit by the peat, but that probably wouldn't have went too bad with the virgin oak. Because you would probably have brought out a little bit of astringency or a little bit more of a depth to it. It's enjoyable, but I think it just misses it a little bit for me. Just a little bit. I think it's too busy. The sort of floral notes. I mean, it's 80% grain, and 20% malt. The grain, the sort of floral notes are pretty much gone. You have these sort of toasted notes, and it's probably the peat coming in, but I think the sherry kind of goes out of it, and the pot still, the spice from the pot still, I don't think you're getting spice from the pot still, you're getting it from the virgin oak. And I think there's a little bit where, to make it a complex blend, it's kind of went a little bit beyond what it needed to be. I do like the packaging. I do like the label. I think the label's quite pretty. It's quite, that's a sort of green slash. It's quite modern. The gold down there. I like the transparency. I like this, but, and this is a slight but, I don't think there's much point in doing things OTT for the sake of doing it OTT. You can have, there's a place for all of this, but I do like it. Now this is a limited, I think there's only 200 bottles of this. Price wise, £36 a bottle when it was released. I think they're all gone now. I think they all were sold out, but they are really putting something in. And as a first attempt, a first go, this isn't bad. I don't want to sound as if I'm putting it down too much, because it's actually quite drinkable. I just think it's a little bit too complicated, too complex. And in terms of value for money, you at £36, it's probably not too far off the mark. I think it's reasonable value for money for that. So we'll give a half mark for value for money from me. I don't think this will blow your socks off, unfortunately. And with the best will in the world, as a first attempt, I think it's good, but sometimes a little bit less could be a little bit more. And there's certain aspects of this that have got a little bit lost, I think. But by the same token, a nice effort. I like the glass, I like the design, I like the transparency, I like everything about the kind of story of it. The guys, if you go onto the website, that you can find out in this kind of thing. And I like what they're trying to do, but as I say, I think this misses the mark a little bit for me. 43%. Put a little bit of water in it. See how it goes. A couple of drops. Now, does it open it up? Well, if anything, it sort of brings on a little bit more of that sweetness. But then the smoke's getting a little bit lost. You know, you're bringing out a little bit more of the green, but the green sort of fresh virgin oak. But the peaty thing, the toasty thing kind of goes. So it depends what you want to do with it. Yeah, as I say, it's a good effort. It's 80% grain, 20% malt blend. It'll be interesting to see where these guys will go with the next stages, and where will they do the same sort of complex blends, different finishes, and so on and so forth, or will they don't know where they're going to go. But as I say, I think this is not bad effort, and I do like the signage, but unfortunately misses it a little bit for me. So I'll give that 6.5 out of 10. But good things to come. So have a good evening, enjoy yourselves, and stay safe. God bless.